Hey, what is up, guys? So today I'm going to talk about the 5 top items to watch for when you're out garage sailing, or this could even apply to auctions and things like that. So I'm going to jump right into it, but I did want to talk a little bit about where I've been. I haven't made a lot of videos lately, and I don't know if you can see my channel from here, but I've had a lot of videos out there in the past, but I'm very excited to get back into it, and I'm just going to kind of jump things off with number 5, and that is Pokemon cards. So if you're at all involved in eBay or anything like that in the resale game, you know the Pokemon cards have been crazy big lately, and that's obviously something you want to keep an eye out for. And the great thing about garage sales, and this kind of applies to every item on the list, is that you can almost always score things ridiculously cheap. And I'm not saying every garage sale you go to is going to be a killer hit, but the great thing about those is a lot of times the people hosting them are older, or they don't know about the items. And a lot of times if you're very lucky, you can get a divorced wife or husband, and it seems a little bit mean to go after that type of thing, but that is sometimes your best deals when someone's like, I've gotten golf clubs, let me just say this, I've gotten golf clubs for like $5 for an entire set of like $1,000 worth of clubs just because she was mad at her husband. And so those are great opportunities. I don't want to get too far into that, but we'll stick on track. So yeah, number 5 is Pokemon cards. They are obviously highly resellable, certain ones, as long as you can get the good ones. Of course, anything base set, first edition, that kind of stuff is always a plus. But even just your miscellaneous cards, your everyday cards, I personally have an online auction that we sell items through. I'll link it down below. But even just regular cards, we're getting $50, $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 for a binder of cards, and sometimes they're not even that good. So it's just so hot right now. You really can't go wrong whenever you're buying Pokemon. So absolutely, that's a great one there. Number 4, and this is kind of one that no one really talks about enough, is vintage hats. This is something that I've done so good with in the past, and it's something that no one really thinks or knows about. And those are sometimes the best deals you'll ever find, are items that are too niche for enough people to care about. But vintage hats, specifically if it's like sporting related, so any sporting team, if it has something to do with like Disney or Coca-Cola, or even a lot of times you'll see like old work hats. So like if somebody worked at a factory, they had the logo on there, let's say it was Pepsi, and they had a factory worker hat or something along those lines, those type of things could be very valuable. And alongside uniforms too, for certain type of jobs and different businesses that you might have back from the 60s, 70s, 80s. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Sorry about that. Number 3 is video games. And number 3, video games used to be so much higher up on the list, but so many people know to look for that now that that's like one of the first things gone at garage sales. But you can still get some pretty good deals, and I still do from time to time. It's a little more rare now just because the competition's so high right now. But video games will always be something that are highly resellable, especially if you do eBay. But it's something that we've always done good with in my auction and will continue to do good with. Obviously, the things you're looking out for are vintage games, Atari, Sega, N64s, just your original Nintendos. Game Boy games are amazing, DS games. And anytime, just a little tip here in between, anytime you see, let's just say like there's 50 games down there, and as long as you have the money to do so, a lot of times the best thing to do at garage sales is try to bundle that up. Try to say, instead of trying to buy 1 or 2 or 3 at a time, put them all together, and that's a lot of times how you're going to get your best deal. And then that's kind of where negotiation skills kick in. And if you need help with that, maybe we'll do that in another video. But so number 3, video games is definitely something to keep an eye out for. Number 2 is vintage toys. This is something that I've probably done maybe the best with, besides number 1, of course, which I'll tell you guys in 1 second. But number 2, vintage toys, a lot of times they can be for $1 or $2 or $3. That's a lot of times what you're going to end up paying for them. And you can get some killer hits. Anything that's like 70s and 80s, especially things that are like nostalgia that people are looking to rebuy because they had that as a childhood or in their childhood, that's something you definitely want to keep an eye out for. Anything related to movies, so they would make all kinds of toys related to movies. That's a great thing to keep an eye out for. And it's something that's underrated again, that you can really get some killer finds for. And even a bonus, if you can get it in the box or something along those lines, it's unbelievable. So now, without further ado, number 1, and a lot of you guys I'm sure don't even look for this, is gold and silver in jewelry. Of course, that goes down the lines of like watches and things like that, but gold and silver particularly, you can really score. So I'm going to give you a couple little hints. You're going to probably need a tool. This is called a jeweler's loop. I have a lighted one. You can get this on Amazon for probably maybe $15. I think I paid for this. It lights in two different areas, and it basically gives you a great view of the jewelry. So if you guys don't know, jewelry is marked inside. I'm not going to get real deep into that, but silver or sterling will have a 925. Sometimes it's just marked sterling. Sometimes it's not marked at all. And then gold can be marked 10 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat, 24 karat, of course. And, this is a great way to identify that and see that. And sometimes you'll see, like if it's plated, it will be marked that electroplated or something along those lines. So you need to be careful here. One thing I would advise anyone just jumping into jewelry is never spend more than a couple dollars on any given piece. And the reason why I say that is because when you're just learning, you don't want to take too big of chances. You really want to learn for as cheap as possible. And unfortunately for me, I learned in a lot of hard ways where I bought things that I thought were gold and they happen to be plated or something along those lines, or fake, completely fake. They'll be marked 14 karat, they'll look like gold, and then they'll just not be gold. So a loop will definitely help you there. Alongside a loop, a scale. So this is a gram scale. This will kind of give you a scrap value. So if it is authentic gold, or let's say it's 14 karat, or I think that's like 56% gold in terms of purity, you can weigh it and get an exact a scrap value. Another thing to really have, and I don't have it on hand right now, but I do have one, is a really high-powered magnet. And all of these things you can really get on Amazon. Maybe I'll link them below. I don't really do that type of affiliate link thing, but regardless, if I do link it below, it might be down there. But regardless, you go on Amazon and get these things for pretty cheap. I think the scale was maybe $15. This was $15, and then the magnet was maybe like $10. So altogether, you might be in at $40, but it only takes one piece of jewelry to get your money back, one good piece. And a little side note to that, alongside gold and silver, because obviously that's always a great item to look for at garage sales, is watches. And this is something I'm just learning about, but watches can be so valuable. And I'm not even just talking about like Rolex or one of the big brands. There are a lot of niche watchmakers out there, especially like Swiss made and German, that can be highly sought after. And a lot of times you're going to get these things for dirt cheap. And that goes for gold and silver also. So it's really important to know your stuff when you're outsourcing, because the person that knows the most is who's going to really win in this. And I'm willing to bet that at any garage sale you go to, there's always going to be an item that you can make $50 plus on or beyond. And the more you know about, the more chances you have of finding that item. A lot of people will push and say, oh, you should find a niche and stick to that. While I agree, because that's how you scale a business up much bigger, when you're just starting out, it's really important to keep your eyes open for everything. So that's about all I got for you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and hit the subscribe button if you like this video, and give it a thumbs up. All right, have a great day.